Hello everyone, this is Mukesh Tutwani once again from learn-automation.com. Today in this video we will talk about how you can push your code from local system to GitHub. Okay, so till now we have made a lot of videos on Playwright. So far we discussed what is Playwright, how to install, how to write test cases, how to do multiple operations, how to run the refill test cases, drop downs, multiple things. So till now we have seen till page object model. Now before we integrate our Playwright with Jenkins, we need to push our code to GitHub. In order to build our test pipeline, we need the code on one of the repository. We are going to use GitHub. So in this video, we'll talk about this in detail, and I will be talking about in two different ways. First, we will talk about HTTPS and one is SSH. I will show you both the ways. Now depends on your requirement. You have to pick one of this. I would personally recommend SSH. Now let's continue. So this is my repository. Basically, this is the complete folder which I have, and here we have everything which is our pages, multiple tests that we have written, some example tests, and we discussed about fixtures. So basically this is everything which we have already. So I started a terminal. So if you don't have terminal, you can start the terminal from here. And in case we're using any other IDE, doesn't matter, because we are going to use simply git command. That will be universally same for everyone. If you don't want to use this terminal, you can directly start the terminal. And I'm using Mac operating system, so I'm using terminal. But let's say if we're using Windows, you can use Windows as well. Only thing is, make sure before you watch this video, make sure the Git is installed. And if you're not sure how to install Git in Mac, how to install Git in Windows, I have a dedicated videos which I will give you the link in the description. So you can go ahead, make sure Git is installed before coming to this. Fine. Now let me close this mail so that we should not get any interruption. So let's go ahead and create a new repository. So click on plus icon. Now you can create a new repository. Now this is coming under my username. If you have created organization, you can create organization, and under organization also you can have the repository name. As of now, this repository will be under my username. Next is repository name. Right now I'm giving our repository name, which is Playwright demo, but in your case you can give repository name which should match as per your project. So it could be project name, the module name for a specific client, or if you are creating a generic framework, the name will change. Description is optional but good to have. So as of now, the description which I'm using, Playwright GS for web automation. You have two options. One is public and private. Public means anyone on the internet can see this repository. Since I'm just creating for my courses and for my YouTube channel, I want to be it public, but if you're working within the organization, you can go with private. This is the README file. This is basically the description about your project. Let's say somebody wants to use this repository, how they can use it, what is the preconditions, and so on. So we can add this later on as well. This is your git ignore file. This is also optional as of now, but we are going to create this git ignore file. Basically this git ignore file will have the information about the files or the folders which you don't want to track. Choose which files you don't want to track, and these are the list of templates which they have given. So if you don't want to add any specific file, you can add what kind of files you don't want to add. So you can give a folder name or a file name. So we'll create this file, but as of now, I will just quickly create this repository because I want to show you certain command. Now you can see this is a fresh repository. Right now we do not have anything, so it is giving us two options. Create a new repository from the command line or push an existing repository from command line. So we'll go with the first option, which is create a new repository on the command line. See, this is the project which we want to push, right? Now we can start executing this command, but before this, let me add this git ignore file. So I'm going to create a new git ignore file, and now inside this git ignore file, I can mention what thing I don't want to track. See, we don't want this node module because depends on which system we want to run. The node module should be downloaded accordingly. So I will add node modules. Suppose I don't want to add this Playwright reports. This will be again available on the client machine or the specific machine where I will be running. So this will not be tracked. Test results. I don't want to be tracked. So I can come to this file and add here. Similarly, allure reports, this will be on a specific machine where we will be running. And finally the allure results. Add this. Once this file is done, now we can continue with the commands. So I have listed all these commands and some additional commands, which anyways I will share. Let's start with git init. Now before we jump into git init as well, now we have two ways. Either you can do via HTTPS. The moment you select HTTPS, you can see the protocol is HTTPS and this URL is changing here. If I go with SSH, the protocol is git and this will be changing. Now personally I would recommend SSH, which is public and private key, which we will see in the second part of this video. Part 1 will be focusing on HTTPS. Now previous versions, or I will say previously we used to have username and password, but with the recent changes we have username and the token. We have not discussed about token. So once we get some issues, I will show you how to create a token. Then you can go with HTTPS. Later part of this video will go with SSH. So as of now, click on HTTPS and let's start with the first command, which is git init. So I will go back to our VS Code. Now make sure you are on the right directory. See, basically I want to push this complete project. So right now I'm in this particular folder, which is Playwright video. If you want to cross check, type pwd, which is present working directory. So it is my local system path and I'm already inside this folder. If I type ls-al, you will see we don't have .git folder. It means local git is not available yet. So the first command that we will execute, which is git init, it will create one empty repository and it is giving you certain hints that right now by default the branch is master branch. We can rename it, which anyways I will show you. If you want to check whether .git is available or not, the moment I say ls-al, this git folder is there. Now the next part is add these files for tracking. Now you can give a specific file name. In our case, if I type git status, these are the files which is available, which we can push. Okay, so right now Git is not able to track them because we have not added them to the staging area. Now one thing which I noticed, this .ds._store file, this is actually only for Mac users. I don't want this also to be tracked, so I can add here. If I type git status, you can see we don't have. So these are the files and the folders which will be pushed. Now I will say git add dot and type git status again. Now these are the files which is available for tracking. Okay. Now the next part is git commit. Before commit, I will show you something called git log. It says by default you are on the current branch, which is master branch, which does not have any commit, and it makes sense because we have not done any commit so far. So once you are done with the final changes, you will do git commit -m, which is for message, and you can provide the commit message. Let's say in my case I will say first code push double quotes, and the commit is ready. If you go ahead and check git log, this is the commit ID. You can use this commit ID for various reasons. You want to revert, you want to do cherry pick, many actions we can perform using this git commit ID. As of now it says only one commit, author is Mukesh Utwani, date and the message. Now this is additional command. Basically -m will be for renaming. So if I show you the current branch which we have is master branch. So when you don't even create a branch, you will always get a master branch. So what this particular step will do, it will change the branch name from master to main. See, now this changes is recent one. Initially we used to have master branch. Just to look more user friendly and generic name, they renamed it to main branch. But even if you go with master branch, it works. So -m for move or rename. If I type git branch again, the master branch changed to main branch. Now this is to add remote origin. So git remote, add origin and your repository URL. Hit enter. Origin has been added. Now the last part is git push. So let me clear all this command. Let me enlarge. Git push -u is basic for upstream, origin and the main branch. And it's done. The moment you refresh, you can see the code has been pushed. Now, very important part, if you're doing anything else, please stop, because I will show you some important commands. Sometimes if your token is not set, you will be getting authentication issues. In my case, token is already set, so it's not giving me any authentication issues. So if I show you how to generate a token, click on your profile, you will see this option called settings. Come down and you will see one option called developer settings. If you click on it, and if you click on personal access token, click on token classic. You can generate a new token from here. Let's say this token name I will give token. Let me give this token name Feb 2024. You can also set the expiry. Let's say I will say no expiration, and I will select all the checkboxes. Okay, this is to give the permission. Right now I will select everything, that with this particular token, user can do all these activities, whether it's creating repository, deleting repository, co-pilot, project, admin, and all this SSH keys activity. Generate a token. This will be the token which you can use. So you can copy this token and you can save it somewhere. Once your token is ready, if you are getting any authentication issues, please you need to add your token. Now in my case, see, I'm using Mac, so I will tell you where exactly you will be getting this. So if you go to keychain access, and if I search this GitHub, and if I click on show password, one second. One second, let me type again. So this is the token which already set. So in my case, it did not ask any password, okay, or the token, because it's already set for me. In your case, if it is not there, what you need to do, first you need to execute this command. I will give you all this command. So git config -- global credentials.helper store. Then you will be using this command and you need to give the token which we have generated. Okay, so this is what will be the final command. I will give all this command, so you can just replace with your token. So this will be your final command. Let me copy this. Execute, hit enter. Now we can go ahead and make further push. So basically this steps is only needed when you do not have proper authentication setup. This is required for HTTPS. Okay, so I hope the first part is clear. I will again show you. First we did git init, so that we got the local repository. Then we said git status, just to check how many files are still not added for the staging area. Then we added all the files. Then we said commit, we checked the log. Then we renamed the file, renamed the branch. By default it is master, then we change to main. We checked whether the branch name got updated. Then we have given the proper GitHub URL. So we need to add origin. So git remote add origin and the URL. In our case it was this. Okay, then we said git push -u origin main. In case if you get any authentication issue, you have to set the token. So when you do it first time, it will ask you username. Username will be this username. In my case it's Mukesh-50. A token we have already set. So once it will authenticate, you can do any push pull once you're done. Now talking about readme file. Readme file is optional, but as I mentioned, it's good to have. So we can add a readme file, that if somebody who wants to use our repository, how they can use it. For example, I want to write precondition. Precondition is node 14 plus above should be installed. Right now, in order to run Playwright, so we can add the Playwright commands. For example, they just need to run this. See, in our case, we already have everything in our package.json file. So basically, if you go to our package.json, we already have that dependency. So what user can do, user can just execute a command. First, I can say clone above repository. And I can give the commands as well. For example, I want to give this command to the user. So I can add here like git clone, then I can say execute below command npm install, and to execute the test they have to use npx playwright test. Now if you notice, our test is available inside test folder, right? So I will use this test, and then they can provide the specific file name. So this will be a generic one. I'm just creating a sample readme file. You can change it. So this is how the readme file will look like. It's not that good. If you want a proper readme file, let me know. I can show you how to generate an awesome readme file. Now if you go to some good repositories, for example, if I show you, let's say Selenium GitHub. This is how the the standard repositories looks like, right? First you will see the image, then section, then preconditions, which command we have to run. So if you need this kind of readme file, let me know. I can create a video on this. As of now, our main focus is how to push your code from local to GitHub, which we have done using HTTPS. Please let me know if you face any issue, and I will try my best to make a dedicated video on this. Now to show you another one using SSH, I'm going to create another sample repository, okay? But you need only one, either HTTPS or SSH. So again, I will go to my username. I will create another repository, and let me give this name Playwright demo SSH. Same thing, public, create repository. Now I will go with SSH. Now I want to put the same project. So basically this one is already connected. So what I will do, I will delete this particular Git repository, local Git which I have, so that I can use a new Git to this particular repository. We have a short way as well. You can change the origin, but I want to show you from the scratch. So I'm going to delete this Git folder. So if I say ls-al, we already have .git folder. So I'm going to remove it. So I will say rm-rf recursive forcefully and .git. So now I don't have. Now I can follow these steps again, but this time I will go with SSH. Now before we go into SSH, you need to add public and private key. This is very important, so please listen carefully. We need one public and private key value pair. Public key I will add to GitHub. Private key will be on my local system. Now how to generate public and private key? I'm going to open terminal, or you can generate from here as well. Type SSH hyphen keygen. Keygen stands for key generation. So we want to generate SSH key. Hit enter. It says in this particular location, it's going to generate public and private key. It says you already have this. Do you want to override? I will say yes. It says do you want to enter password? No. Same password again, no. And it generated one public and private key. And this is the location where it has generated. So let me copy this particular location and let me show you. So I will go to this particular folder. So just now you can see few minutes back it has created one public key and private key. Public key I will open. Let me open this in 1 second. Text editor. So this is the key which I have. I will copy this. Next step, you will be going to again profile, settings, go to SSH. You can see I have so many keys added. Let me add a new key. Let me give Mukesh Mac Feb 2024. You can give any name and paste the key here. And the key has been added. Now we are good to go. You don't need any further username password. That's the advantage with SSH keys. So let's quickly execute these commands. First of all, git init, then I will say git add, then I will say git commit -m code push via SSH. Then we will rename the branch to main branch. Now click on HTTPS if you want. Right now we are in SSH, so I will just copy this. And finally I will do the push. And it will take few seconds. We are good to go. So this is via SSH. Again, you can add the readme file and so on. So this one with HTTPS, this one via SSH, both are straightforward. Here you need username and the token. Here you need public and private key. Public key you will be adding to GitHub. Private key will be on your local system. And to quickly summarize two options, for SSH you will go to settings, go to SSH and you will add here. For token, click on developer settings, personal access token, token classic, generate a token, and you can use these commands. So all these commands I will just add some description. I will structure them and I will add them in the description of this video. So yeah, that's all from my side. I hope this was useful. If yes, then please share with your friends, colleague. And if you face any issue guys, because GitHub made a lot of changes, and what I have seen my students also facing a lot of issues, so I thought I will quickly create a video. So let me know what your thoughts in the comment section, and I will see you in the next video. Till then, bye bye, take care.